everybody, it's Tammy here, and this video is going to be kind of like a sit down chit chat kind of video where I will be sharing with you guys how I got offered for the National University of Singapore nursing degree, Singapore Institute of Technology nursing degree with honours, and the Ministry of Health Holdings Scholarship Award. But before I dive into anything else, I just want to explain why I wanted to do this video, and that is because when I was applying to both universities and the scholarship award, I found myself lost in the sea. I felt alone in a sense that when I tried to search up on the internet on like people's experience, people's journey with the university and the scholarship award, there weren't very much out there, to such a great extent that I only replied my offer 3 days before the deadline. It was not fun. I felt very nervous and scared and afraid that the university might just not want me at any one point, but thankfully that wasn't the case. And so yeah, that's why here's the video. I just do not wish anyone else out there to experience the same thing as I did. From this point onwards in this video, I'm going to be using abbreviations, which are on the screen right now, so just take note of that. It's just to make my life a little bit easier. And just to give you guys a little brief background about me, I just recently graduated a couple months back from Nanyang Polytechnic with a diploma in nursing, and I'm just currently waiting for my uni to start in August. Alright, so before I get into any further sharing, I want to put it up front here that if you want to pursue your degree with the scholarship award, you have to pursue your degree at SIT and not NUS, or you can go to like overseas universities that is accepted under MOHH. So let's finally start this video, and I have decided to break this video up into 3 parts. So the first part is on the application process, second the interview process, and lastly tips on how to get good grades. The first part to this video, application process. Very simple, you just need to follow the instructions, fill in accordingly, but I'm just going to point out some of the important ones that I have felt were important when I was doing the application for all 3 of them. A guide and a sample of the application form available on the website, just to give yourself a clearer idea of how the process would be like. So make sure to go check that out because that really helped me a lot. Personal statement, this is the part where I call it whereby you sell yourself in a way that you try to explain and describe about yourself and that how you would be a valuable student to the institution. The way I have written my personal statement is I put in how I'm assured that I want this path in the healthcare line. Secondly, all of my overseas internship and exchange programs that I've went. And I've also added in that I was selected for the Diploma Plus program. And I just ended off with I would like to advance my academic path with blah 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 blah. My big recommendation, my big tip is to please write up your personal statement before starting your application form, as I think, if I'm not wrong, all 3 application portal has a timeout lock. So if you exit the timeout lock, then you would just have to log out and then you would have to restart everything again. So to ensure you would not experience that, just write up your personal statement before starting your application form. And then once you reach that section, just copy and paste. It just makes your life so much more easier. In fact, you do not have to write up a total different personal statement for each application form. You can use the exact same one because they would not know. You just type up one personal statement, use this for all your application forms, because that's what I did. But please take note, if there's anything in your personal statement that is written about the specific institution, please make sure you change it accordingly. The next section would be choices of courses. Take note that in order to be considered for nursing, it has to be in your 1st, 2nd or 3rd rank. And if you're thinking about medicine and dentistry, they have to be in the 1st or 2nd rank. My one big recommendation is to please have your choices of courses already selected and thought through well enough before starting the application form. If you need to discuss it with family members, with parents, please do so. I would strongly advise you to think through and explore all the different programs and degrees that the institution offers and really decide which one you want to apply for. They have a section for co-curricular activities, unlike NUS, and this section is optional, but I would strongly advise you to fill it in. For me, I picked out the ones that are for leadership, enrichment, service and all that, so I would advise you to choose wisely. Don't just randomly choose the ones that you have enjoyed or the ones that you liked, I guess. And I want to point out would be intended admission or current university information. So in this section, there'll be like a subsection where it's called applications made to university. It means it's asking you whether have you made any applications to any university before this current scholarship application. So please ensure to apply for university first before applying for your scholarship. I want to emphasize on would be additional questions for Healthcare Merit Award. So that was the award I was applying for. So I think if you are applying for other awards, it might be called additional questions for the specific award that you're applying for. There will be a lot of questions for you to answer, so just make sure you answer accordingly. A question where you would have to do up a short essay of no more than 650 words on why you chose to apply for this scholarship. There were a couple of guiding questions available. Unfortunately, you cannot prep this essay before you start your application form because you will only get the question in the application form, and I'm not sure if the question would change every year. Another section that I want to point out for a NUS application form is the personal identification number, bracket PIN. This is where you create your own PIN, and this PIN is very, very important. Please do not forget a PIN. This PIN will allow you to access the OASF portal where you upload your documents, you check your application status, where you might even update your choices of courses, all that stuff. So please make sure you remember the PIN. After submitting your form, you receive an email with all your, oh, thank you for applying to a NUS, and then there's your application number in the email and all that stuff. Now I'm going to be talking about the uploading of documents. So as I've mentioned earlier, OASF portal. So this is a complete separate portal from the application form where you use it to upload your documents, check your application status, if you have any inquiry, if you want to appeal, you want to update your choices of courses, your interview status and all that stuff. So this portal is also very important. Essentially, you do not have to scan your documents before starting your application form because you upload your documents after submitting your application form. Does that make sense? So you get onto this portal and then you key in your application number that was given to you in the email. And as I mentioned earlier, you would have created a PIN number that you need to remember. So you enter the PIN number, you log in, and then you start to upload documents. For uploading documents, there are a few things I want to point out is you have to complete the application checklist, which can be downloaded from the website, and this checklist you would have to upload together with all your other documents. In this checklist would also indicate what are the necessary documents that you have to upload, and also you would have to write your name and your application number on the top right hand corner of every document. So please ensure you have written that down before you scan your documents. A big tip is to check out the guide for uploading documents on their website because it's very detailed. They tell you what you need to do with every document, combine them into a zip file, and then uploading all that stuff. Check out that guide available. So for SIT, the application form already consists of the uploading documents, so you do not need to go to a separate portal like NUS to upload your documents. That means you have to scan your documents first, get them all scanned, put them in a don't put them into a file. Only then you begin your application form because you would be uploading your documents whilst filling up your application form. So do take note on that for SIT. Please pay attention to the mandatory ones. The major difference between SIT's application and NUS's application is that for SIT, there is an additional requirement. It is a program-specific requirement. So if you are applying for nursing like I did, there is an additional essay that you have to do. It's just a really short essay of 200 words. I'm not sure if the topic would change every year, but for my year, it was about community nursing. And not to worry, you can write this essay up before starting application form, essentially because you're uploading it as a document. So you can find the topic of the essay on the institution's website under program-specific requirements. So please be aware of the university that you're taking your degree under and find out what is the specific requirement that you have to do. Important thing that I have to emphasize on is if your document consists more than one page, scan all of them, then combine page 1, 2, and 3, or 1 and 2, and so on and so forth into one PDF. Because for me, I did not do that. I just chose page 2 or the page that has the important information of that certain document type, and I just upload only that one page. And I felt so stupid after I found out that I can combine combine documents into one PDF. So please make sure you do that, as you will upload documents in the application form as well, just like SIT. So make sure you follow accordingly. I don't have much to say on this section, just follow the instructions. Now we move on to the interview process. So yes, if you're applying for generally healthcare related courses, you would have to go through interview. This year was very special because of the COVID-19. My interview was all online, virtual meetup. For NUS, I got more of the generic questions where they ask me about my experience doing my clinical attachments or any part-time jobs, and then introduce myself, what department I would want to specialize in, what are my hobbies, how do I relieve stress, how do I overcome obstacles. And the one big question that still stays in my mind till now is, have you ever encountered people whom you find difficult and how you dealt with them? My big important tip, please read up on SIT's DNA. You can find it on the website. It's basically the values of SIT. Read that up because there will be questions on that, or at least for my time it was. And also there will be a question very related, almost similar to your nursing essay. So I would advise you to read up the essay that you have written first, just to refresh your mind on what you have written. Lastly, for MOHH interview, see why I chose nursing. Secondly is what department I want to specialize in, and then last one is, do I have any plans or aspirations in the nursing industry, like how I want to progress my career. Let's now finally move on to the last section of this video, tips on how to get good grades. The first one is, I think the most important, your mindset. Ensure and you tell yourself that I want to achieve, I'm aiming for a distinction or an A or an A+, whatever it is, the high grade basically. With that in mind, I feel that you would naturally put in so much more effort when you study, and the amount of effort that you put in would definitely pay off in the results. And set yourself high. Doesn't matter if you did not get that grade, at least you know in yourself you put in so much effort, you've done your best. Number two is to read up the lecture notes before the lecture. So the way I did it was I type up the notes in a Word doc or OneNote, type it up. I would bold words if I have to, highlight, underline, color the words, all that stuff. Whether you read it online, digitally, or you print it out, or you type it out, just briefly read it through so you get a gist of what the lecture is about before you go for the lecture. Number three would be find out which note-taking system works best for you, whether you are a kinesthetic learner, visual learner, or an audio learner. Try out mind map or Cornell system, or just basically writing the notes out. Because for me, what I did was I just type out the notes. I didn't have a specific system that I'm following with. One big recommendation is to add diagrams, add pictures, add tables in your notes, especially if you're a visual learner like I am. And also especially for biology class, you need the diagram, you need the picture of the heart, you need the picture of your intestines to really see it, because you don't really see a human heart on a day-to-day basis. So diagrams, pictures, tables are very helpful and useful. Whether you draw it or print it or look at it digitally. There's another tip I would give is to paraphrase your notes. Just take the main point. I cannot take main points. I very often take the whole text. So I think if I would have paraphrased and take out main points, it would have served me better. Do not use too many colors whether you write or type out your notes. Just have a couple of colors and also have a meaning or a referring to the symbols or the colors that you use. So here are the meanings that I have for each color that I use, symbols and highlights and all that stuff. And also when it comes to note taking, I think it's very important to always have the learning outcomes / objectives written or typed up at the beginning of your notes, because this is one thing I heard from my senior. Teachers set exam questions to test if you listen to lectures and if you study what is given to you. With the learning objectives already written down there, that's basically what the teacher is trying to get you to study about. So follow with that when you revise. Number 4 would be find out if you study better at home or at the library or at cafe, etc. I think the environment plays a very big part. I found that I can study better in school and library because the environment just forces me into study mode. And also, if you study better with a buddy, I think that's very important because it has helped me a lot. During my poly years, I've got a very great study buddy with me. It was amazing. I had an amazing time with my study buddy and it has definitely helped me a lot in my studies. Number 5 would be to listen to calm study music instead of hip-hop, trendy TikTok music, because they are not helpful at all, especially when you're trying to memorize lo-fi music, cafe background music, jazz music. I love those music. They are very easy to find on YouTube. You just need to type study music and you will get all kinds available. Choose the one that you love and that works best for you. And in fact, this tip was shared by my study buddy. So study buddy, thank you very much. Number 6 would be don't procrastinate. I am a huge procrastinator, I'm not gonna lie. I procrastinate a lot. I usually tend to wait until I start to feel like, okay, I really need to do things right now, then I start. And by that time, it might be a little bit too late, and that's why I tend to rush things up a little bit. So do not procrastinate, do consistent work. And consistent work is my number 7th tip. Just to be frank, I didn't do consistent work, and I felt that if I have done that, I would have gotten a better grade. So do consistent work and do not procrastinate. Last big tip for getting good grades is snacks and sweets, etc. If you need snacks to keep yourself awake and like in study mode, please have them. I had loads of those. I always get gummies because I love gummies. I get like cookies like Oreo or like Wang Wang biscuit, and then like chocolate. I don't usually go for chocolate because it's very heaty. Sometimes some mints. Alright, so that's pretty much it for this video. Hope all the things that I've shared is informative for you. I hope you enjoyed. If this video was informative, please give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe.